We live in an era where digital technologies craft the way we work, the way we live, the way we think, the way we shop, and almost all aspects of our lives are influenced by digital exposure. However, the apex concern here is the protection of digital personal data. And with the focus on rolling out Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, the Government of India has been taking some proactive measures in this regard. Hi, I'm Adarsh Som from ETGovernment, and today, for this episode of Public Sector Leadership Series, I've been joined by Mr. Jaydeep Singh, the General Manager for India region at Kaspersky. So, in this interaction, we'll try to take a bird's eye view on the effectiveness of initiatives by the Government of India in protecting citizens' personal data. We'll try to look at how companies, industry players like Kaspersky is strengthening the government and PSUs cybersecurity, and we'll also try to explore perspectives on the future of cybersecurity. Hi Jaydeep, so welcome to this episode of Public Sector Leadership Series. So before we get into the main set of questions, Jaydeep, I would like to get an insight in how has been your journey with Kaspersky, and if you can give us a brief about Kaspersky, the business, and what their solutions are, what kind of market you target.
Great, thanks, Adarsh. Good to be here, Adarsh. Really appreciate that. I've been with Kaspersky for just short of 2 years now. It's been a great journey. As an organization, we are doing well. We're a global company, present in more than 200 countries globally, and we cater to the requirements of security for not only the B2C customers, but also to a large segment of B2B customers today. So we have more than 200,000 enterprise customers globally, and nearly 800 million users of Kaspersky solutions worldwide. From a product perspective, we provide solutions for protecting the endpoints, the network elements, the OT systems, the storage devices, the email systems. We also have a lot of services which provide proactive information for customers through our threat intelligence, through our DFI services, and services like vulnerability assessment, red teaming, and compromise assessment. We also have some great learning platforms which can be leveraged for capacity building, for training, and for specialized skills like ERA rules, reverse malware engineering, for capacity building.
Great. So, Jaydeep, India, here we have the second largest user base of internet, right after China. So, to what extent do you think are we at risk of cyber attacks, and what role can the government play in closing the vulnerabilities?
Spot on, others. So I think India is around 800 million internet users today, and as per research from the Kaspersky Security Network, we detected nearly 44 million internet-borne threats last year, targeted towards Indian users. This was a slight decline from FY23, where we detected more than 62 million internet-borne threats. But these now have become, the velocity and intensity has increased. Maybe the frequency has decreased a bit. So this is an area of big concern. The Indian government has taken a lot of steps with respect to creating regulation and frameworks to mitigate those kind of threats. So in India, we have nodal agencies like CERT-IN, who are responsible for creating programs, awareness, as well as to capture as a central agency a lot of information about any attacks which happen at an enterprise level, individuals. They've also created platforms like the cyber Swachhta Kavach, which can be used by individuals also for clearing malware, bots, etc. So there are a lot of initiatives by the government to protect the consumers as well as enterprises against these cyber threats.
So, Jaydeep, as you mentioned, that a lot has been done, but there's still a scope of improvement, right? With time, with with the onset of digital technologies, emerging technologies, and how this particular domain is evolving, we've seen the threat landscape is also evolving, especially with the onset of Gen AI technologies, right? So I call it a double-edged sword. So at one point, it is a very effective solution. It's increasing productivity. It's improving efficiencies, delivering out good results. But on the other hand, Gen AI is a big threat, right? It's a big threat. It's complicating for the entire threat landscape. It's creating more sophisticated attacks. So in this particular scenario, what is Kaspersky's perspective? How are you helping the government or the PSUs ecosystems to gear up for such attacks?
So two parts to this, Adarsh. Great point again. One is that Kaspersky has been leveraging AI/ML into providing a lot of solutions and services to our customers. We detect more than 250,000 malware every day globally. 250,000 malware. Now, it is not humanly possible for us to detect that. We can't put in so many people to do that. So we use AI/ML to do a lot of detection. And this is backed up by a lot of qualified people who do the research and analysis on top of it. So we are already leveraging a lot of AI/ML into our products and services, as I mentioned. With respect to the leveraging of Gen AI into by the bad actors, as I call them, it's going to be an evolving landscape over the next couple of years. What we see is that they will be leveraging more and more neural networks for impersonating people, voice, video, etc. And they have to be robust infrastructure in place, robust processes in place to mitigate those kind of threats. With respect to participation with public sector organizations, we do a lot of capacity building programs for cyber awareness with the CERT-IM. We also do that with other agencies like USI to create awareness as well as collaboration with various functional departments. So these are things we are doing right now, both on the product side as well as on the awareness side.
Right, Jaydeep, and I think you very rightly pointed out that capacity building is very essential in these uncertain times, and definitely companies like Kaspersky and agencies like Certain should step in to come up with more and more training programs to ensure that the workforce that's working in the government or the PSUs ecosystem, they are well versed with digital technologies. They are aware about threats that are upcoming, and they can safeguard the, since cybersecurity is not a subject of just the CISO who's taking care of the entire company. It's every person who's working in an organization is an endpoint, and we need to secure every each and every endpoint. So moving ahead with this, Kaspersky, if you talk about, can you share some case studies? Can you share some use cases, in the government or in the PSUs ecosystem where you have deployed your solutions or help them gear up, to tackle those cyber attacks?
So, so there are three areas where we collaborate and work with the government as well as public sector organizations. One is that we share some critical information at times with the nodal agencies when our researchers come across. Those are specifically with CERT, we have a very good relationship there. A lot of our customers, especially in the government space, are in critical sectors like power, oil, defense, and they have deployed Kaspersky solutions, both to protect their endpoints as well as their critical systems like network elements, etc. So I think it's been a great relationship there. What we have done, a significant initiative, is that we've just created a white paper with CERT for how to secure your smart cities. So it's a white paper which is there on the CERT website, which talks about products, services, and processes which can leverage to protecting a lot of the smart city assets which have got deployed now. And this is not only on the IT side but also on the OT side. I think a lot of people talk about vulnerabilities and issues which could be there on the IT systems, but we are seeing a lot of critical systems on the OT environments, which could be manufacturing, which could be for utilities, which could be under stress from the APT actors. So we are doing that, and of course we provide a lot of forward-looking threat intelligence to all these sectors for them to be ready in case of any kind of threats which are coming towards these sectors per se.
Hey, thank you, Jaydeep, for sharing those insights. It's been a wonderful conversation till now. Now we come to the last part of this interview. So I'd like to understand what are your future perspective for Kaspersky, any future plans? What are the focus sectors which you would further like to expand your footprints?
India is a geography where Kaspersky sees a lot of potential because it's in a country where we have a lot of digitalization happening, which also requires a lot of protection with for consumers, enterprises, public sectors, and we are seeing a lot of interest coming from all these areas. So what we're doing is that we are investing big time resources to with respect to covering those sectors with respect to skilled manpower for not only with respect to business but also with respect to creating channels, with creating more support engineers, support systems in place. Um, on the B2C side of business, what we've done is that we have now created a great value for our consumers, for our products to be adopted. Number two, we have also collaborated with some big icons like PSU Mumbai Indians for for their cyber security. And what happens is when people are able to, when you go and see Mumbai Indians and they see Kaspersky name associated with that, then the interest gets generated. We also collaborated for an cyber fitness with Millions Women. This is to create more awareness in the younger generation or the fitness generation. These are initiatives on the B2C side. On the B2B side of business, some of the critical sectors for us are government, public sector, BFSI, where we hold regular workshops, engagements to leverage the Kaspersky products and services in these areas. Um, we are doing reasonably well. We're growing in double digit in this region, and we see more and more accelerated deployment of resources within the Indian geography per se.
Thank you, Jaydeep. It was a really insightful conversation. Thank you for sparing your time and sharing those knowledge with
Pleasure,
us.
Adarsh. Thank you.